Let me tell you about my stalker. My stalker, it turned out to be someone that lived really close to me. This person actually tried to get me in their car. But watch till the end to find out what happened. I once had a stalker back in high school, and this stalker turned out to be someone that lived in the apartment complex right next to my house, actually. The next 2 streets over, I guess. So I used to go to school, and I would walk to school. It was like a few blocks to school. I would walk to school every morning. In high school, that was when I started dressing sexy. I was wearing revealing clothes. So I would walk to school every day by myself and wearing revealing clothes. So this is that I would have to walk a few blocks to school in the morning and then walk home. Sometimes I would have friends that went with me. Some guy friends from school would offer to walk me home, and I would let them walk me home. Other times I would just walk by myself. So during this time, I would wear tight clothing, wear tank tops, spaghetti straps. I would wear tight skirts or jeans or something. And it was at this point where I was just trying to fit in. I was just like dressing for attention. At this stage, I was just crying out for attention. Any attention I got, I was happy. This was like me trying to feel accepted as a woman. You know, when you're just in high school and you're just growing older, you want to feel pretty, you want to get the attention from the boys. And that's what I did. I would just wear revealing clothes all the time. And I wore makeup. Even though it was really cold, I would just not wear my jacket. I could show my shoulders and things. So every day I would walk to school, and for a while it was pretty safe, right? Nothing unusual. I'll get a honk here and there from people on the street that I didn't even care to know who it was. So one day I got like something left out my window, right? Like, 'cause my house was by the street, like a small street. It was a second house from an intersection. So it was easy to figure out where I lived if you followed me home. Like outside my window, like on the ground, like for Valentine's Day, I saw a bear and roses. I was like, oh my goodness, like, who was this for? Because like I had a big family, so I thought it was for somebody else, but it had my name on it and stuff, so I didn't know who it was from. Slowly I realized that someone was like, you know how you feel like somebody's watching you? One day I'm just walking home and I just look around and like I see somebody like saying hi to me. So I didn't really think much of it. I was like, oh hey. That saw me walking home another time, and he's like, hey, like, can I talk to you? What's your number and stuff like that. So stupid me, like I gave him my number. So I gave him my number because like young girls, I don't know, I wasn't thinking at that time. I just liked the attention, I guess. So I gave him my number, and of course I didn't have a cell phone, so it was the landline. So he would call my house, and at that time my parents were really strict, so they would tell my brothers to say F you, and then they'll hang up. I guess it was for a good reason, not thinking back, right? But when I was able to talk to him, he was just asking me, what are you wearing? What are you doing? Can I see you? Right? Do you want to go hang out with me and my guy friend? Like, so he would call me like this as much as he can, like to talk to me after I get home from school. Like he will talk to me. He'll try to call me, and as much as my siblings hung up the phone, he would call me again and again. And he would ask me to go hang out with him or come over his house. Or, no, he'll ask like, oh, have you done anything? Would you want to try to do anything with me and my friend? You know, and they would like make me feel good and all that. So in high school, this is what's happening. Right? There are guys on the street that would get to know you and get your phone number and try to ask you to go do things with them like this. Like go to their place and do things you shouldn't be doing. Luckily, I didn't go to their place or anything like that. I just talked to him and kind of like, they were flirting in a way, but that was it. Like I didn't really go any further than that. So he started sending me like more gifts. So I would find more things. I was like, oh, so that was you, right? So then he'll surprise me with like more things left outside my window. So he would just buy me small stuff, nothing big, a bear here and there, or flowers here and there, but that was it, nothing major. One day, I guess he wanted to spend time with me so much. Like at this point, he became really obsessed. So he only had my number, and he followed me home because my house is like going straight from the school, going straight, and then you make a left, and like my house is like the second house. Like really easy to know where I lived if you were a stalker and you were following me. So I would find more stuff, and it was to the point where I was like, you know what? He kept asking me to come over and spend time with him and his friend and do things. I was like, no, I don't feel comfortable, and I didn't want to talk to him anymore. So I told him like, hey, sorry, but I don't feel like, you know, I can talk to you anymore like that. So I started ignoring him, and I guess he started getting mad. He started calling me more, and I didn't want to answer and talk to him. So then one day I was going home from school, and I almost made it to my house. So right before the intersection where my house was, he was driving his car close to the curb, and I was like, oh, hey, you know, I thought he was just stopping by to say hi. And so I said hi, and I was wearing a skirt and everything, and a tank top, of course. And he was like, hey, like, you want to go somewhere? I was like, no, I don't want to go anywhere. And he kept getting closer and closer to a point where he actually like stopped the car. And I was like, yeah, like I have to go home. Like I can't go anywhere. This guy stopped the car, got out of the car, and started pulling me into the car. Like he was pulling me into the car. I was like, what are you doing? Let me go. Like, let me go. And I started like screaming, and I just started running. Like I pushed him off of me. And so he got scared because I started screaming. Because I knew that my house was just right ahead. And so he got in the car, and he drove off. But later on, no, I remember his license plate, and I traced the car back to where he lived and stuff. He lived right close to my house, in the apartment complex that was next to where I lived. So it was pretty scary. And after that, when I went to school, I always walked with somebody or had my dad drive me to school. I didn't want to walk by myself anymore, and I never spoke to him on the phone anymore. I was able to just ignore him completely, and because I had a big family and I had people walking with me or taking me to school, he backed off and he didn't bother me again. Like I saw him around after that, but I just ignored him. I don't know if he still lives there, but he hasn't bothered me since high school. Just shows you how many predators are out there that are trying to get kids into their cars, kids to do things, especially younger kids. Like I was only in high school, and he was a lot older than me. I think he was like at least in his 50s or something. Like he was probably at least 50 years old. And that was pretty scary. You know, stalkers can be anywhere, right? This guy found me on the street as I was walking back and forth from school. I think he was watching me because to go to school I had to pass his place. So I'm pretty sure he saw me walking past his house. And I was pretty lucky not to get pulled into the car when he was trying to do that to me. And so yeah, that was pretty much it. I am just glad that I did not get caught by this guy, that I was not dragged into his car. But I didn't know what would have happened if he succeeded in pulling me into his car. It's on this road by the house, like straight down. Of course, like I don't live at the same house anymore, but it's a few blocks down. Like I don't know if he lives there anymore. I haven't seen him since. But this guy was a lot older. He was trying to get me to come out and spend time with him at his place with his older friends. You know, either that or like he tried to pull me into his car. I'm pretty sure he did this with other girls as well, and I hope he didn't get anybody. But he had the intention of just doing things, like adult things, with me. And that's why he told me he wanted to do, like, to go over and spend time with him and his friends, and we would all do adult things. Luckily, I didn't engage in anything like that, and I didn't give him the opportunity to make me do things like that. And the thing is, like, I never told anybody about what happened, and I think that that's something that I should have told somebody about, so that they could keep an eye out on their kids as well. I just kept everything in private. I just kept it to myself because I was afraid he would do something to me or to my family. That's why I just kept it a secret. He could have like went on and done that to somebody. So if something like that happens, at least let the police know, or let somebody in your family know, an adult know, so that they could keep an eye out for somebody like that and report them. Let your parents know so that they can alert the other parents. You know, I had other siblings as well, so like if I told somebody, I could have protected a lot of people from this guy, because who knows what he did next, or who he preyed on next, or if he got anybody, or if he was successfully abducted anybody else after me. I was only one of his victims, I guess. Oh, but because I screamed and yelled, that scared him, that startled him, and so he had to get in his car and go. This guy was a lot bigger than me. He was pretty tall. I said he lived right by the house. He's been there for a long time, I guess. I don't know about now. I forgot. No, if I saw him again, I'd probably be able to recognize him, but I haven't seen him since. Like, and it's been like over 10 years. Or if something like this happened to you, feel free to let me know in the comments. It's always good to let others know what's going on. There are always things that you can share in your community so that people are aware of what's going on, so that the same thing won't happen to somebody else. That was so scary. Growing up, you want attention, you want to show off your body, you want to be liked, to be loved, but it's not worth it. So always try to cover up if you can, because it's only attracting the negative attention from men. There's always a place to show off your body. If you're going to the beach, it's one thing, but if you're just walking back and forth to school, there's no need to be showing a lot of skin. Like me, I made a big mistake doing that, and that attracted negative attention towards me, and that put me in danger. If he successfully abducted me and pulled me into his car, a lot of bad things could have happened, and I would probably not have made it to this point if that had happened. It happened to me because I stood out. I showed a lot of skin, and that attracted bad attention, negative attention, whereas other kids, the other girls that walked the same road, they were all covered up and they protected themselves in that manner. So that kind of deters men from seeing you as a victim when you are all covered up. And there are a lot of adults too that get abducted, right, and get killed just because they're not wearing workout clothes, trying to stay cool, and they're jogging around, and that could be something too. So I guess it's good to always have something on you to protect yourself, and have somebody else know where you are. But the best thing is always walk with somebody, or if you're doing something, do it with somebody, and always have someone know where you're at, because you never know when you could be in a dangerous situation where you need that help right away, for somebody to come and help you and save you right away. Like for me, it happened so close to home that to this day I still think about that every time I pass by that place that he lives. Right? So I'm just looking for that black car and that tall guy. I hope you guys got something from this. Always be careful. Always be aware of your surroundings. Don't talk to strangers. Don't give out your number. I did all the things wrong. Everything I did was completely wrong. Cover yourself up if you can. Dress appropriately for certain environments, certain places, right? There's a place to wear this and that. So if you're just going to school, make sure you wear something that is going to not distract other people's attention or bring negative attention towards you, like for me, right? And sometimes that'd be dangerous, where you could attract a predator, a stalker that is out to hurt you or to force you into doing something that you don't want to do. And I was lucky not to be a victim of that, and I escaped, but it doesn't always happen that way. So protect yourself, protect each other, and always let someone know if something like that happens, so that we bring awareness to our community and to keep the community safe. Take care, guys. I will see you guys in another video. Bye bye.